Phew.
Is it time?
What? Yeah, I think I might need it.
Is
We're
it time?
uncorking it. We've got this genie in a
So
bottle
there's
corked up,
yeah.
and
So
I need it.
those
I think
of
I need
you
the stamina now.
those of you who may be aware of something that Ellie and I did yesterday.
With some friends.
That
Not. It wasn't
you're
just us.
surprised. It wasn't just us, no. But you might be surprised we haven't brought it up yet. And that's because we chose to save it.
We chose to save it. So
Anyway, last night Ellie, myself, and our friends finished out the journey we set upon a year and a half ago, and we watched Doug Walker's To Boldly Flee.
his magnum opus, To Boldly Flee.
And this is my second viewing of it. I watched it when it came out when I was a young man.
That makes me feel really bad for you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Um,
I was young.
uh-huh. Did you like it? You liked it, right? When you watched it
I don't
the first
remember.
time? You were like, yeah.
I feel like I remember being kind of bored by it.
I mean, that's a valid reaction. It's a very boring movie.
But I
it's
probably
not.
did like it. Because I was just so, like, I liked...
You were just
really
like,
into
yeah,
Channel
I'm
Awesome.
just into the Channel Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So just like for reference, should we try to give like a quick summary of like what
Yeah.
this is?
So, for those unaware, the Nostalgia Critic, years and years and years and years ago, left YouTube to make his own website because YouTube was having problems with the ad revenue. It was a big
There's
shit
the
show.
copyright system.
There was
He
a
was
big
like, they're
copyright
not going to let me
system.
make my videos, and so he made his own website.
He made his own website called ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, and over time,
Yeah.
That Guy with the Glasses began to host more than just like Doug Walker
It's
stuff.
just like dozens and dozens
Dozens.
of other people. Yeah. Oh right.
We definitely could have been on the website. Just saying.
Just like a lot of randos.
A lot of randos.
Yeah. And so
but-
like every couple of years, like the website got
No, it
bigger,
was-
the brand got really strong. And then it was every year after a certain point they started doing
after the
these
second
like
year.
anniversary movies.
Yeah, they did an anniversary project. I think the first year, which was like
It was like a battle scene, right? It was like they just got
yeah.
everyone
I'm
together.
gonna look up how long it was real quick. But it was just a short fight scene between the Nostalgia Critic and the AVGN because they had like a rivalry thing going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. This is 1 year anniversary. It was 20 minutes long.
It's 20 minutes. Yeah, just like a normal length for like a little crossover promotional thing to be for like a couple of bad YouTubers, right?
Yeah, and it was like, and it was primarily the Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd, but there were also tons of others because it
There
was
were like
filmed
cameos of their.
It was
their
filmed
other...
at like a convention,
Yeah.
and so it was just like a goofy, like one-off little thing. And then the next year, Doug wanted to go bigger, and he made a fucking movie.
Yeah, and that movie is that's Kick-Assia.
That is Kick-Assia.
Yeah.
And it is a movie, and I won't go into the plot.
It's well for the better. Yeah. It's dumb. It's a dumb crossover movie. It's like an hour
like
and 20
90
minutes.
long.
It's like movie length. It's horrible.
It's bad.
It's famously very bad. Don't use your Team Blast here, Ellie.
But the next year he made Suburban Nights, which
is an
got
even
a bit
longer-
longer. It was like 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little over 2 hours.
That's their third anniversary film, Suburban Nights.
Yes.
Featuring even more of the poor souls who were on Channel Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they expanded the plot. It was they all dressed up in cosplay and ran around a neighborhood. I'm sure everyone loved it.
Yep.
What are we missing here?
I think it's just Eggman is being slow to the punch. Eggman?
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 Oh wait, I hear a move around, like look around the arena. That's why those notes appear when they're being buffed by the magic robots.
Oh.
That's what's happening.
Like, is he gone or?
Yeah, I think you killed him. I think the cage is open.
Okay, you're right. Anyway.
But anyway, so Suburban Nights came out. It was terrible, and then the following year, Doug made To Boldly Flee,
which is
3 hours and 28 minutes.
It's considered by some to be one of, if not the worst movie ever made. Like just kind of generally, like mostly from a production standpoint. They're all obviously very bad amateur films, and they're not funny because they were made by the Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, like the production was never gonna be
Good.
good because it's like it's a fucking dumb internet movie, but it's also like very lazy and like fucking just.
There's so much. Anyway, so
there's
the
so
notable
much.
thing.
There was no effort.
Yeah.
Very little effort.
Well, there was like a lot of effort, I think, for like a bad product. The notable thing about To Boldly Flee is that it is 3.5 hours long. It is longer than Avengers Endgame. It's longer than a lot of famously long movies.
Return of the King, I think.
Yeah.
I believe I saw many comments about how you could watch Return of the King, and still have a couple minutes to spare to finish To Boldly Flee.
What? What hit me?
There was an invisible robot for some fucking reason. So the fucking. Oh my god, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, so
I don't even know where to start. We watched this last night spontaneously. It was very late.
We started at like 9:30 or 10 or something.
Yeah, so I was up till 1 in the morning watching fucking To Boldly Flee.
Like what's the? Can we try to describe like the plot of To Boldly Flee?
So the plot of To Boldly Flee is after the events of Suburban Nights.
Mati from
Captain Planet was killed.
He died and saved the day and died.
Yeah, and he was put into he was burnt and
they put him
ashes.
into like an oatmeal can as like a
joke,
and someone kicked him into outer space, right?
Yes.
That's great. Good job, Ellie.
And so the movie starts, and Doug is having these weird thoughts lately.
He's like, I've been having these weird dreams.
Yeah.
And he's like, I feel bad that Mati died, and then everyone's like, you're the Nostalgia Critic, you shouldn't feel bad about that.
Yeah.
That's not normal. And so like, I don't like, it's so hard to describe the plot because the movie is so long and so inept.
So Doug is having like visions of what happened to Mati. And at the same time, the Spoony one is like having like these weird like similar visions, and after running some tests they discover that that Spoony has
like the spirit of
the
Mati
soul of Mati is like communicating through Spoony. At the same time, some other fucking geeks have found
losers,
like they find something weird is happening in space.
Yeah.
And
this is like a 40-minute like prologue to the movie, by the way. Like the big thing with these movies is like they're meant to be exciting if you're fans of a bunch of the people on this website because like they get everyone together and you get to see them interact. And normally in like Kick-Assia, in like the second scene, like everyone is there.
Yeah.
Very quickly. But in this movie there's like it's like a solid 45 minutes before they get the crew together. Of 25 characters.
Yep. So there's something out in space that they're not sure what it is. It is later revealed to be something called the plot hole.
Yeah.
Which is causing like
funny.
malfunctions.
It's a funny joke, by the way.
It's causing like the world to not make sense and it's like catastrophic. Meanwhile, at the exact same time, the Nostalgia Critic is under house arrest because he did a bad review of Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, there's like a deep cut happening with like
Ellie, you gotta kill the wizard.
I did.
You're ignoring the wizard. It's
there's another one?
No, it's the same one.
Why didn't it? I don't understand why Rouge's attack is so inconsistent. Anyway, they keep like things in the movie keep happening that like are just obvious like continuity errors, but then like they keep being like the movie is bad because the plot hole's here and that's why the movie's bad.
That's why it's bad. So the Nostalgia Critic is under house arrest because he made a bad review of Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the villain from Battlefield Earth is trying to kill the Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah.
The Nostalgia Critic and
which
crew,
is a relatable goal.
Yeah, Nostalgia Critic and crew are trying to go to space to stop
the plot hole to stop it from like eating the world or to save Mati, I think, or to save Spoony.
So
I'm unclear.
Yes, so they turn the Nostalgia Critic's house into a ship. And then they fly into space. While they're in space, they have battles with the Battlefield Earthman and General Zod from Superman 2.
Oh yeah, and Star Wars is happening.
And at the same time,
like the main
the
main secondary plot thread. There's like F plots. There's so much shit happening in this movie.
Yeah, so at the same time there is a Jedi Sith parallel going on between
cinema snob
Hollywood producers and who are the Sith and critics who are the Jedi.
The Jedi, yes.
And cinema snob is being seduced over to the side of the producer.
Yeah.
And it's real bad.
It's so embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. One of the coolest parts about To Boldly Flee is how it doesn't pay homage to previous famous movie scenes as much as it just recreates them full fucking cloth.
There are full scenes in this movie that are just scenes.
It is just exact scenes from Return to the Jedi.
If there's a joke happening, the joke
Matrix.
is just that sometimes they will point out this is a reference.
Yeah,
that's as
joke.
deep as the joke goes.
Yeah, it's a pretty good joke.
It's also I feel like it can't be overstated that there are so many fuckers on this horrible website that there's just it's impossible to keep track of the 25 characters in the main
there's
cast.
A lot of moving pieces.
There's side plots with every character
Oh yeah, because at the same time that all this is happening, Linkara was killed
by robot Linkara, Mecha-Kara
was taken over by Mecha-Kara, who's infiltrated the group and is now a part of them.
He's turning people into robots.
Turning people into robots, which leads to the best scene in the movie. Or one of the
best joke where they pan over.
Yeah, it was actually
they've turned Todd in the Shadows into a robot off screen. That was pretty good.
Funny.
That was good. I liked that.
Yeah,
joke.
that was one of two jokes that I liked. But there's so much just stupid fucking bullshit happening in this movie constantly. What? Yeah, Omega was dead for a second.
Just kill them.
There's only one left.
No, there were two.
Oh, were there?
They were overlapping.
Look at that. So, what the fuck?
There's it
just goes on forever.
It's so long. There's a dozen plot threads. Everybody looks miserable to be there because everybody. Oh God, where's
no one wants to be there.
Everybody hates. Everyone obviously hates Doug and also doesn't want to be here. You could just look at any character in the background and they just look palpably upset and miserable because oh my.
Just rouge them, yeah.
I'm working on it. Because the filming conditions are notably bad, and also this 3.5 hour
part of that
movie
document.
was filmed in a week.
Yeah, apparently it had a very rushed production.
You could tell because all the characters in every scene, the movie takes place over a couple weeks, and every character in every scene is wearing the same clothes.
Yep.
Our boy 8-Bit Mickey is wearing this Derpy Hooves t-shirt for the entire movie.
Pony. Yeah.
It was funny because we watched it and then we learned that 8-Bit Mickey was who was one of the smaller people on the website. Was streaming on Twitch about these movies at the same time.
Yeah, it was really bizarre.
And so I felt bad. He had 3 viewers. He was raising money for medical stuff. So I stopped in. I'm like, hey, 8-Bit Mickey, and he's hello.
8-Bit Mickey.
And I didn't say anything else.
You're close to the end if they're talking like that.
Yeah.
Just keep it up.
I'm working
Save
on
your team blast because there's gonna be some.
There's gonna be 5 robots. I know.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the end.
No, because there's a cannon right there.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's gonna launch you somewhere, and there's not gonna be another thing, which means you're probably at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
And oh, yep, here they come.
I'm gonna just
wait.
I saw the amount of enemies.
Okay, is that it? Are we done?
Is that good?
Did we do it, Eggman? Are you good? You like that?
Gotta wait because we use our fucking
gotta wait.
blast.
No,
is it funny?
Still going? Don't be Shadow. Don't get away from the edge. Get away from the edge.
I'm dead. No?
No, you're not. No, you're not. Just get a ring, get a ring, get a ring.
Okay. You gotta bait him into...
You don't gotta bait shit. You don't gotta bait shit. You don't gotta bait shit. You didn't have to bait anything.
It's Alec. It's so long.
Nostalgia Critic!
Yeah. What? Can we talk about highlights?
Yeah.
What were the worst parts? Saving like the stuff that is like grotesquely bad, because there's some stuff in that movie that is like very troubled in a way that I don't want to talk about here. The whole Channel Awesome thing, like I feel a little weird watching these movies, because there was famously like a couple of years ago a thing came out about their practices that was like like it was not good. It was very icky in a lot of ways that are not suitable to talk about on the show. But also, like, the movies it's funny how bad they are.
One of the highlights for me was, I really enjoyed the part where the Nostalgia Critic was dressed up like Judge Dredd and screaming in the fields for like 20 minutes. That was pretty good.
Every scene goes on for like 100 times
an insane amount of time, like way longer than it ever needs to be. There's a scene at the beginning.
It's probably a parody of something that I just don't recognize. Where like
probably
they got Spoonie hooked up to like a computer and it's like reading his brain signals and he's like revealing star charts and shit that lead them to this plot hole.
Yeah.
And like there's the screens are all lighting up and it says warning and there's pictures flashing and I swear to God the scene goes on for like 4 minutes of just like the screen flashing warning and people being like, whoa, what's happening? And like Spoonie's eyes are bugging out of his head and stuff and it's just like it just keeps going.
Every fucking thing with the subplot that bored me the most was the Star Wars one.
The Star Wars one is really boring.
It's just so fucking boring, and I don't like Cinema Snob at all.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the point of it was.
Of the offensive parts, I think the one that I find the most upsetting, one that's very famous, is like... So, famously, the movie ends with the Nostalgia Critic... Where are you?
He ascended and became God.
He dies at the end of the movie, essentially. Like, the character, the Nostalgia Critic, dies.
Yeah, because this was when Doug, like, retired the Nostalgia Critic.
And the people, like, this is one of the things that was alleged in the Change the Channel document, is that none of them got to see the script before filming. Like, they would get the script for the day on the day they filmed it. So these people who are basically, like, the Nostalgia Critic was the most popular show on the website. These people relied on him bringing in traffic, like, for their revenue.
And they found out that he was retiring the character.
They found out he was retiring the character because of the script of their fucking anniversary movie, like, the last day of filming. Which probably, like, it helps explain at least one of the reasons why everyone looks miserable. It's because they are now in fear of their livelihoods because...
Yeah, they're not thinking about this dumb shit they're filming.
And the way they explain, like, the lazily, horrible, like, offensively meta way they explain, like, why the Nostalgia Critic is, like, not happening anymore is, like, he goes into the plot hole, and then he comes out, and he's talking to, like, himself on the couch, and he's like, I'm the writer, I write the Nostalgia Critic, I'm real-life Doug Walker. And he's like, the characters become too deep. The Nostalgia Critic wouldn't care about Mati dying. So, the character tells me how to write it.
Yeah.
I can't write him anymore.
Yeah, he said at one point I was writing a character, but now it's like, he just tells me what to write. And it's like, fuck off, like...
It's so fucking, like, masturbatory. Oh yeah, I forgot about the big balloons.
Insanely masturbatory. Insanely.
Yeah, it's horrible. I just never use Shadow, Ellie. Just never use Shadow. You were so far in.